Vibes 6.0.
We come again. Candy Papa weed, it's a must for me. Wakes me up my slumber.
Mystic Vibes 6.0.
Yes, we time again. Two notes and we break. Find myself a partner, just to ease the pressure. Oh, yo. I don't wanna sleep. I don't wanna sleep. I don't wanna rock. Hold on. Tell me what you're waiting for. It's time to hit on the floor. I don't wanna sleep. I don't wanna sleep. I don't wanna rock. Oh, yo. I want to get in the heat. See me chipping down the street. All aboard. The carnival approach. All aboard. Time to rock the boat. Come and get in line. Strictly party time. Carnival approach. Time to rock this boat. Come and get in line. Strictly party time. I say. Let me rock, let me rock, let me rock non-stop. Rock the boat, baby. Let me rock, let me rock, let me rock non-stop. Way up. Let me drink my rum. Let me have the fun. Get me soul on fire. Let me take it higher. Yes, me set and good. Soca in my blood. I must jump forever. But it was never. Whoa, yo. I don't wanna sleep. I don't wanna sleep. I don't wanna rock. Tell me, baby. Tell me what you're waiting for. It's time to hit on the floor. I don't wanna sleep. I don't wanna sleep. I don't wanna rock. Whoa, yo. Tell me what you're waiting for. It's time to hit. Oh gosh.
Mystic Vibes 6.0.
The pretty look of the hair are flexing. I'm say, hey, the frowning up on me hair is wearing. Whoa. Every day, them a cry me down, but I just don't have fun. All we want is the music all night long. Play the music, big and strong, cause I just don't have fun. Run the gun, straight to town, don't stop this jam. Cause you know I'm addicted. Na, live without it. Start me over the pumping. On me no just a jumping. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. If the vibe feeling right, rock me steady all night. If the vibe feeling right, rock me steady all night. I'm say, hey, the only drugs that I'm guilty using. I'm say, hey, a heavy dose of the music grooving. Whoa.
Mystic Vibes 6.0.
Every day, them a bring me in, but I just don't have fun. All me need is the music all night long. Play the music, big and strong. I just don't have fun. From the gun, to straight to down, don't stop this jam. Whoa, cause you know I'm addicted. Na, live without it. Start me over the pumping. I will be around for the entire night. See, baby, while I'm close, I'll be here by your side. You're doing things to me that I cannot deny. The way you're looking, girl, you are so certified. Got me back one time when you give me that fast wine, fast wine, fast wine. Fast wine, fast wine, fast wine. Take my boat to the dockside and anchor down by the bedside. Give me that fast wine, fast wine, fast wine. Fast wine, fast wine, fast wine. Take my boat to the dockside and anchor down by the bedside. Ooh, oh, oh, oh. Hey, hey. Oh.
Mystic Vibes 6.0.
Take a wine, take a wine on me. Oh, yo, 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 baby, I've traveled through the stars and many moons to find you, baby. The sugar on your skin, the sweetest melanin, yeah. See when you step out into the light and your body looking right.
Mystic Vibes 6.0.
And I go live how I want. Hey, so I go take a little drink. And I go do what I want. And I go wine if I feel like it. And I go live how I want. Angle me, bang. What da 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 bang. Angle me, bang. Have a little money in my pocket 'cause I just got paid. I could do it a little more, but I still irate. So now I'm stepping out to a party. Trouble when I link up with my friends and family. Man, anywhere we go, we mash it up. We rip it up, we mash it up. Girl, them a fi bubble and them a fi back it up. Everybody see we and they say we acting up. We just live it, mash it up. We rip it up, we mash it up. Girl, them a fi bubble and them a fi back it up. Everybody see we and they say we acting up. So I go take a little drink and I go do what I want. And I go wine if I feel like. And I go live how I want. Hey, so I go take a little drink. And I go do what I want. And I go wine if I feel like. Hey, and I go live how I want. Get on no devices. Work hard, the harder. 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 Work hard. Boy, dirty bad mind don't like we on the road. Don't like when we buy expensive clothes, you know. I go party, let me party. Backstage general or VIP. Party don't stop, yeah, sober. Ready to go home, no stop, hold on. Sweat mash up, no stop drink and I must catch up, hold on. From the time I touch, 1 girl, 10 girl, not enough, hold on. Trini, love the party. We go pay but we love it when it's free. Good food and drinks in a cooler. Put the party on my shoulder, cause we outside.
The trees again. Do it up to real woman don't mean that your hair do. Pretty nails and shoes don't mean you have to trim man where you spend pan you. Woman you confused, real woman have them bang book. And we don't make excuse. If all you have is sexy alone, you're bound to lose. So let me tell you about real woman. Don't do anything for a like on the gram. Let me tell you about real woman. Own the house or car, let me tell you about real woman. Boss up now, take charge of your man. Let me tell you about real woman. Tell them this your song. Put your hand in the air, yeah. Walk out, shout out, yeah. If you know what, you're hand in the air, walk out, shout out, yeah. Hold on, keep doing the most. It's my money spent, can't spend it suppose. Keep doing the most. It's my money spent, I can't spend it suppose. Yeah, me now, real woman buy me own fat ticket. I make it long time. 6 them can't take my wicket. Tell them take them time with it. So when I fuck up my bumper, that's mine. Buy out the basso, that's fine. Take a little wine pun, what's mine? Hey girl, don't cross this line. So let me tell you about real woman. Don't do anything for a like on the gram. Let me tell you about real woman. Own house, own car, own land. Let me tell you about real woman. Boss up now, take charge of your man. Let me tell you about real woman. Tell them this your song. Put your hand in the air, yeah. Walk out, shout out, yeah. You know what? Your hand in the air, walk out, shout out, yeah. Hold on.
Mystic Vibes 6.0.
When I pick you up, you was lively and you was hot. I tell myself this is it. We go party down the place. Now you keep pulling back, and you have it in your waist. Oh no, sweet baby, oh no, sweet baby, oh no, sweet baby, oh no. Tell me why you don't have the feeling and that is so nice. I wonder what's on your mind. Don't tell me you're going to ruin my night. Tell me why you don't have the feeling and that is so nice. I wonder what's on your mind. Don't tell me you're going to ruin my night. Maybe you want something to shake you ding-a-ling. Hey. Maybe you want Maybe you want a man to get back out of hand. Maybe you want a mind to fire up the eye. Till a day, hey, give it.
Mystic Vibes 6.0.
La vie nous compliquée, parce que nous sommes tout côté. Bagay met pas passé, presque la gagne tant gagne. Mais tu l'es pas normal, bonne nouvelle, pas qu'un oh, mais tu l'es pas normal, pas qu'un yo si dans New York City, des gens mauvais, quand pêche l'autre jazz monté. You don't know, ça carry mi passé. C'est vrai, on est dans le téléphone, dis la vie nous ménager. You don't know, ça carry mi passé. De jour en jour, la vie compliquée, parce que nous sommes tout côté. Bagay met pas passé, presque la gagne ton gaël. Mais tu l'es pas normal, bonne nouvelle, pas qu'un oh, mais tu l'es pas normal, bonne nouvelle, pas qu'un c'est fait au galen dans le téléphone, dis la vie nous en danger. You don't know, ça carry mi passé. Yo dis dans Californie, just like me, calo cassé, qui ça? You don't know, ça carry mi passé. Paparazzi en bailli, on t'y apprend la rue. Cuba.
Mystic Vibes 6.0.
Darling. She's a bacchanal every time she come my way. Look at the tongue when you dip down there. Sweetness, your apple, I won't try to. She's a carnival every time she touch down there. Tip at the tongue when you hit my brain. Give me one look and I just want it. But they say, take your time when you go down there. You must spend all your money and end up paying heartache. But I don't care, nah. I go take all the chances. I've been waiting so long, I want it night and day. Hey, my lady, give me a piece of that chuk-chuk, darling. One piece of that chuk-chuk, darling. So long you've been saving it, non-stop you're like craving it. I want some of that chuk-chuk, darling. Treat this when it rolling. Look back when it rolling. Things nice when it rolling. And I love how I feel it when it rolling. It comes when it rolling. Can't stop you from rolling. Yeah.
Mystic Vibes 6.0.
Last year I sing and say I taking my wife to party. People vex like hell cause I say my wife has not their beauty. So the next weekend on the paper, them boys start writing. Yes, they're trying to tell the world it's not that the black man singing. So before them reporters put my career in more jeopardy. And not me to sing nothing again about party. But when the fans and them around the world listen to what I have to say. Anyway that I go, anyway that I pass, they keep balling out. No way, no, this party can't done. Black man, your fans having fun. Black man, jam another one. This party can't done, this party can't done. Come with it, your fans want the party. Jam a party song. We just want to roll back all night long. Come with it.
Mystic Vibes 6.0.
Stop all housework you're doing. Tonight we going and have some fun. I just feel it to party. The way we used to when we was young. Just put on something sexy. So you'll be free to move around. Make sure the children okay. We ain't coming home until morning come. Tonight the black man feeling the party. Tonight the black man feeling the jam. Tonight the black man just feels the boogie. Come on, hold on to your man. And then we do a little.
So we are the sound them selectors play every day, making you sweat. Yeah. And when the girl them tell it and shadow dingole, I hear the sound of say, hey, we are the sound of soca. Big bad soca. Big bad soca. Big bad soca. Everybody on the stage, oh God, oh. If you're coming down from the mountain, oh God, oh. When the rhythm beating in town, see me jumping on the savannah grass. You could see it already touched red, oh Lord, oh. When the people tell you they cannot red, oh God, oh. Feel the spirit jumping in town, we coming home, the savannah grass. When we outside, it's an ocean of love. All that we align to the stars up above. Let we dance now, take a chance now with me.
Mystic Vibes 6.0.
Till morning. Look, the moon not sleeping. Tell them we not leaving. Till the last drop of a canal is madness in the capital. So I feel like I'm running tongue again. Jump and shake the ground again. Play with all my friends and them. No place like home. I feel like I'm running tongue again. Jump and shake the ground again. Play with all my friends and them. No place like home. touch the sky. Feel my love unfolding like a laughing flame. All who did not know me when not done, they gon' know the name. Million people coming down, dancing to a song. Love is life and life is love. Blessings from above. Can you feel the love that's in the air? Well, if you feel it, let me hear you say, dancing, moving, moving everywhere. If you feel it, let me hear you say, na 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 na, hey na 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 na. Take me to the river, take me to the sea. Watch over me music, bathe me in your melody. We are such a blessed tribe, sweeter than a million bees. People live 1,000 lives and never feel this free. It's not an easy road. How many see the glamour and the glitter, so them think I better rose. Me say, who feels it knows? Ooh, Lord, help me sustain these blows. I cry, it's not an easy road. How many see the glamour and the glitter, so them think I better rose. Me say, who feels it knows? Ooh, Lord, help me sustain. Why? From the minute of birth you enter this world, obstacle in your way to overcome first. Throughout every day they seem to get worse. Oh my God, cast away this curse. Everybody are trying to make every end meet you anywhere that them end never. That can you see? No matter what the world may say out the street, most of this I won't accept defeat. Now I'm weary, dying dreaming. We got no time to raise your better know that it's not an easy road. How many cities I'm on the guitar, so them think I better rules to say, who feels it now?
Mystic Vibe 6.0.
Hallelujah. Skanking, grooving. Hey, Jaja, yeah. Skanking, grooving. Under pressure. Yeah, skanking, grooving. Under the pressures of a life and it tough. Now stay down, mama, time pick it up. Now bother with the down, full style, strictly up, full vibes. Now pick it up when the bills, them, the rent and the mortgage due. Yeah, yeah. When me chalice, when your best friends are gone and it's only you. Yeah,
Mystic Vibe 6.0.
Sweet. Everybody wanna feel like free. Forget your troubles and you rock with me. You know feel a reggae music sweet, yeah, yeah. Skanking sweet. Everybody wanna feel like free. Forget your troubles and you rock with me. You know feel a reggae music sweet, yeah, yeah. Skanking sweet. For every pain there's a melody, yeah. For every trouble there's a harmony that brings everything together. So make we sing together. And who say life no order? And every man got this struggle. I begging you help me, Lord, and let me overcome my.
Speak to my
Mystic Vibe 6.0.
If I was to tell you just how much I need you, would you come tonight? Would you not believe me? Cause a love that easy never turns out right. I'm trying to change the rules. You deserve something good in your life. We waited for far too long, so come get your blessings tonight. Baby, won't Won't you come over, love, so I can show you love?
Straight away.
Promise I got enough to give you all that you need, baby. So many search to find love that's as good as mine.
It's a sign.
I wanna waste your time, so bring it on.
Alright, girl, I've been waiting for the longest time just to run, come and give it his love. Yeah, yeah. Girl, you know that you've been on my mind. Can't sleep at night and such. Baby girl, now that you have shown me the time to press gas and don't bother with the clutch. Hear me, girl, I'm gonna give you love it all night long.
Now that I've lost everything to you, you say you wanna start something new, and it's breaking my heart to leave. Baby, I'm grieving, but if you wanna leave, take good care. You find a lot of nice things to wear, but then a lot of nice things turn bad.
Mystic Vibes 6.0.
Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by just on a smile, girl. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. As long as you can be like a child, girl.
My resistance is getting weaker. I can't stand the pressure. I can't get any weaker. I've got to find some other treasure. I need nothing to be a man, because I was born a man, and I deserve the rights to live like any other man. Oh, my mind in such a state. Sometimes it makes me sick. Sometimes I try to hate, but I just don't know the trick. I need nothing to be a man, because I was born a man, and I deserve the right to live like any other man. She doesn't want me around. She's got something to hide. I think she wants a clown, someone to take for a ride. But I keep telling her I'm too experienced to be taking for a stroll. Too experienced, someone to rock and roll. I'm too experienced to be taking for a ride, and I know it's not my mood.
Mystic Vibes 6.0.
When I look at where I'm coming from, I know I'm blessed, and I close my eyes and smile. Sometimes I feel like the richest man in Babylon, and I've done my best, so everything's alright inside. Oh, every morning I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing. So when the evening comes, I lift up my eyes to the hills. I'm blessed, oh man, with my two hands in the air as far as I
Gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone, and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here, oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss say money gonna find me here.
Mystic Vibes 6.0.
Blessings gonna find me here, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Round and round, these seasons I've been facing, but this year, your blessings I'm embracing. Hey, healing have come my way. Blessings have come my way. Winning, and we here to stay. It's the blessings me say will find me here. Oh yeah.
Mystic Vibes 6.0.
myself off. New DJ Mystic Vibe 6.0. Lauren, good evening. How are you?
Hello, hello. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
You know, I'm here live in the 305 in the state of Florida, 30 electoral votes. Where are you checking in for Sunday dinner?
I am checking in Washington, D.C., but still representing Louisiana, which I call my home.
Excellent, excellent. I want to say big ups to DJ Mystic Vibes, founder of Hooky Life Entertainment, coming straight out of the DMV area. He is a son of the soil of the 876 Jamaica. We want to thank him for that nice mix, celebrating our vice president's birthday today.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we sure are. It's a very special day. We're 2 weeks away from the election, but, you know, we're celebrating the big 60 for Kamala.
Absolutely. And we want to thank everyone for tuning in live here on rallyforkamala.com. We're also streaming live on Jamaicans.com. Trini Jungle Juice, Dakota Network, the Temper Network, and Le Union Suite. Wherever you are tuning in and checking us out from, we want you to just drop your location, drop your state. If you want to drop your flag, the American flag and whatever flag. So I am the American flag and Jamaican flag. Lauren, what flags are you representing today?
I'm representing the American flag.
Excellent. That's one of the most important flags on the ballot. We certainly all have ties to the United States in some way. But thank you for joining us here on Rally for Kamala and joining us here on this journey. You and I are going to be together, Lauren, for the next hour and a half about rallying for Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Tim Walz. What is your voting plan, Lauren? Have you voted yet? How are you preparing to vote?
You know, that's a great question. I actually voted early, and I encourage my family to do the same. So a lot of my family is in Louisiana. I also have family in Georgia. We have all made a plan to vote early. My dad and sister went in Georgia just last week. They were very excited to do that. So, you know, my envelope has been signed, sealed, and delivered.
So do you guys do that over Sunday dinner? Is it in the WhatsApp chat? Tell me about the Darrensburg voting family plan. How does that work?
You know, it's a mix of everything. It's text messages, it's phone calls and conversations, just keeping the dialogue open, and especially making sure that all my younger cousins know that it's very important that they do get out and vote.
Excellent, excellent. But if you're just tuning in with us here on rallyforkamala.com, we are having a national call with the Caribbean American voters and all across the world, actually, but right also here in the United States. This evening, right here on Rally for Kamala, we are going to be speaking with our former Attorney General, Eric Holder, Governor Wes Moore. We're going to be speaking with one of our renowned actresses, CC H. Pounder. And Lauren, we're also going to be connecting with voters in various states as well, aren't we?
That's right. We're going to be talking to folks from across the country. We're going to be hearing from people
across the country.
Yeah.
That's a mic check. That's a mic check from the governor.
Yeah, so we're going to be hearing people from Pennsylvania, from New York, from Georgia, all over. So we're looking forward to hearing perspectives, hearing what's been happening on the ground, and continuing to build up the enthusiasm for this election.
Excellent, excellent. So we're asking you to share this live with your friends and family. Just pop them a text and just tell them while they're having Sunday dinner. Join us right here on the Rally for Kamala. We're going to be sharing information about your voting plan, checking your voter status at iwillvote.com, making sure that you're doing your homework on your sample ballot and getting ready to vote, and making sure that we are doing every single thing in every single cell in our body that we can do to make Kamala Harris the next president of the United States. And so, Lauren, to do that, we're going to go straight to the state of Florida to our very first guest, who is serving as the vote director for the Caribbean region. We're going to bring up to the stage right now here, Rally for Kamala, Nancy Bowen. Hopefully our producers will bring her in, Lauren, and we will have our conversation with Nancy so far. Otherwise, you and I will have to chop it up a little bit more. If Nancy is ready, coming to us live from the state of Florida. Bonsoir, bonsoir, Nancy. Come on.
Bonsoir tout le monde, ça passe?
Sounds like you're out there canvassing. You look like you're working from the trunk of your car.
I am. You know it. I've just been hitting the pavement all day today. We just wrapped up our canvas for today. As you know, tomorrow kicks off early voting here in the beautiful Sunshine State for 2 weeks. So we want to remind folks to go out and vote from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at your local early voting site. We have several around. And if also you're voting by mail, go ahead and make sure you drop that off. I see the energy in Georgia. Hopefully that same energy trickles down here to South Florida and Florida.
I think the energy is here. I'm not hoping. I know the energy is here.
It is here. You are right. We saw that energy at Carnival last weekend. We're seeing the energy on the road now. We had various caravans happening throughout the weekend, and just folks are super excited. And you know what, y'all, Caribbean folks, come out. Please cast your votes.
So, and Nancy, I know that you're trying to mobilize hundreds of thousands of voters of Caribbean descent in the state of Florida. There are 30 electoral votes at stake, and even though the state is lavender or maybe even a light pink, or different people may have different colors to ascribe to with Florida, but you've been engaging with the voters for the last 100 days plus. What are you hearing now, Nancy, and what do you think is going to make the difference in the next 16 days?
What I'm hearing a lot is folks really want someone to focus on the issues and really stay away from the culture wars. We are knocking on doors and people are saying, hey, I can afford to live here. What are my affordable housing options? When can we ensure that I get a livable wage? Folks are asking about not cutting their Social Security and Medicaid, and the list goes on. And I think the true candidate that can really answer those questions is the only candidate, Vice President Kamala Harris. And happy birthday to her, by the way. We also are celebrating her 60th birthday. As we launched our canvas, we also sang happy birthday and cut a cake on her behalf. But with that being said, we have a lot of individuals who really want to just thrive, be able to keep the lights on, provide for their families, and stay healthy.
So, Nancy, what are some of the options that the voters and the citizens have in the next 16 days as to how they could help power this campaign in the next 2.5 weeks? What are you saying to them, and what's on the menu?
What's on the menu? What's at stake right now is our livelihood, right? And so, folks, if you have not put together a plan, please do so. I know many of us are on WhatsApp chats, Signal chats, family group chats. This is the opportunity for you all to drop all of the initiatives into those chats and talk about the amendments that are on our ballots. We have Amendment 4, Amendment 3, all very, very important that we need to pass in the state of Florida, as well as voting down ballot. We have a senator who's super, super close, DMP, here in the state of Florida, who's vying to beat Rick Scott, which she will, and she's super, super close. And also, we want to make sure that if folks do not have a voting plan and need a ride or assistance to the polls, we are galvanizing and working closely with some union folks, some taxi drivers, to get our elderly and those who may not have transportation to get to their polling sites.
So, Nancy, before I let you go back to your canvassing whirlwind tour there, what's the biggest ask that you having for those folks who are listening, whether they're in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, or even overseas? What's your biggest ask of those that are listening that they could do, the most important thing that they could do to help the campaign be successful on November the 5th?
2 things: knock on doors. Actually, 3 things. Give me your money, knock on doors, and make those phone calls, right? We have pretty much a phone banking every day this week, and you could do it from anywhere. We have virtual phone banks that will cater to you. Just hop on. We provide you a link. Unfortunately, we still have individuals who are still undecided, about 45,000 individuals, and we need your help to touching them. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And if anyone throughout the nation can help us out here in Florida, we would greatly appreciate it.
Nancy Metayer Bowen, Councilwoman from the city of Coral Springs in North Broward County and the Caribbean Vote Director for Kamala Harris, and Tim Walls. We want to thank you for your hard work and your leadership, Nancy. Look forward to seeing you out there in those streets. And thank you for joining us here on rallyforkamala.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Bye, everyone.
Okay, Lauren, we are, that was Nancy. She was coming to us live from the streets of Florida. She's a Caribbean Vote Director. And we want to take it to our next guest. I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, I'll take it to our next guest. So coming up next, we have Kanair Joseph representing IET.
Hello.
Hi, Kanair. How are you?
Good, I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us. And you're coming from the battleground state of Pennsylvania?
Of course, yes. It's a very crucial election, so historic. So fired up and ready to go.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. So can you tell us a little bit about how you've been mobilizing to support the campaign there?
Of course, as I speak Spanish, I'm trying to get more connected with the Latinos communities. And I know there's a lot of things going on, like the macho man type, but I'm trying to soften them a little bit because we need every single vote possible. So I'm going to this supermarket, barber shops, churches, wherever I can find them, meet them, and doing phone calls, and yeah, knocking at the door. So we're in the street.
Yes, you are in the streets doing all of the things that need to be done. Can you tell us what's the energy been like? You mentioned you've been to all of these different places, which is great. Going to the places where everybody is, the people that we really need to make sure they're getting out to vote. What's the energy that you've seen in the streets as we've been talking to people?
The energy is high, like the enthusiasm, and it's an election about like a lifetime election. It's about our future. It's about the future of our kids. So everybody's ready because we know the importance of Pennsylvania. It's a very close, tied up election. So every single vote count. So people are very energetic. So we're ready, and we're gonna win the state.
All right, doing what it's taking.
Of course.
Is there anything that you feel as we're, approaching these last 2 weeks leading up to November 5th, Election Day, or is there anything that you feel really needs to happen in these streets in Pennsylvania?
Of course. As you know, mostly the Haitian community, we have been singled out and kind of by some racist, xenophobic comments of the other party. In Ohio, it's right in Pennsylvania. We have a small town of less than 7,000 people living there. We have a Haitian community so living there, so they have been singled out as well as the same racist comments. So we're trying like to get them in a positive mind, and mostly with the Latinos communities. So we're trying to let them know as well, if they single out the Haitian community here in Pennsylvania, the same thing the other candidate did in 2016 when he went down like the elevators. He called a Latino or Mexican, as they usually do. They are rapists, they are drug dealers. So if they single out the Haitians, they're part of the same thing as well. So we have to be united and to vote for Kamala Harris to be our next president.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for all the work you're doing. I mean, you're right. We need to all come together, and it's very important that we have people like you and others joining us on this call that are the boots on the ground, making sure people are getting out and letting their voices be heard.
No problem. Thank you. Fired up, ready to go.
All right. We're going to stay fired up. Are there any last words that you'd like to share before? Oh, well, it looks like we
lost Kanair. We lost Kanair. Lauren, we want to thank him for his hard work in Pennsylvania. We know that we have a sizable Haitian Caribbean community in Pennsylvania that has already started to vote in various counties across Pennsylvania. And we know that this election, Lauren, is going to be won on the margins, right? So every single family and every single vote counts. So we definitely want to thank him for his hard work. They see until Kanair Joseph. Thank you so much. So, Lauren, where are we going to next? We're going to Georgia. We're going to go
Yes.
south on I-95, and we're going to head to Georgia. We're going to join Rita Cunningham and Yannick Norman here on rallyforkamala.com. Thank you for tuning in. We're going straight to Georgia now, the very important battleground state as well that is north of Florida. And we are going to go straight to Rita C, joining us from the energetic state of Georgia, the home of the peach state, the state that Vice President Kamala Harris, she's actually there today celebrating her birthday. Rita, tell us about the energy that you're feeling.
I feel amazing. I feel pumped. I'm so ready. Currently, just soaking it all in, to be honest. This is a really beautiful time, and know that times are really, really crucial, and making sure we get out the boat, but just making sure like we enjoy the moment that we're all in. Like, we know that the times are very testy. We know that we have to get a lot of things done. We have 16 days into the election. So early voting has started in Georgia. So
so where are you in Georgia, Rita?
I'm on the east side of Georgia. So I'm in DeKalb County. Currently I am still at work right now. I am organizing in Nevada, because that is another battleground state that we also have as well. And yeah.
Excellent. So how are you and your family preparing to vote in Georgia? What is the family voting plan? Are you doing it over Sunday dinner? Are you doing it in the WhatsApp group? How are you organizing your information and getting ready to vote?
So because of what I do with Empower, I have been harassing all of my family via text message.
So tell us about that process. How do you harass them? Do you gently text? Is it a phone call? Or do you just walk up to the house unannounced with a plate of rice and peas? What do you do?
So it's pretty quick. I call and I'm like, hey, how you doing, Auntie? Oh, I'm good, baby. I'm like, all right, did you vote yet? Like, we're not wasting no time. Did you go vote yet?
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing to know that in early voting in Georgia that you can vote anywhere within your county. So you're not forced to be in one precinct.
Right.
So just putting that word out to my cousins that's in college, putting that word out to just everybody anybody who will listen, especially HBCUs, making sure that the voice is heard, reminding everybody during homecoming that you need to go over early voting is the most crucial time as well, because no one likes long lines, no one likes to wait, which is fair, but why not just in and out, go vote, less than 2 minutes,
right?
And let's keep Georgia blue.
So in full transparency, and Rita, you know that in every family, right, you have somebody who is disaffected, apathetic, frustrated. How are you speaking to those friends and those family members who may not necessarily be as enthusiastic as you? How are you speaking with them?
The most beautiful way that I can remind them and just let them know, say, hey, the government does not need your permission on how they spend the money on. They're going to spend your money whether you like it or not. So why not vote to change how they spend your money, how they allocate the funds? Unless you would like to continue complaining about the same things over and over again, you're more than welcome to. But let's not let's use our brains to go think and
absolutely
let's go make sure that they spend the money where you want them to spend it, and don't lose your vote by just saying, oh, they don't listen anyways, when they do. Their vote does matter. Every vote does matter. And
yeah, I mean, because we have to shape the government that we want, right? It's access versus apathy, right? So tell us about, for the next 16 days, what is your plan? To know that you're a busy entrepreneur, you're busy working, you have family. How are you have you started to think about the next 16 days, how you want to allocate your time to help the campaign? What are some of the things that you're thinking creatively that you can do in this last stretch?
Relational organizing is what I've been doing. And that is just simply talking to my friends and family about this voting, about how important everything is. Unfortunately, I did meet someone who was voting for the other person, and I told him that election day is on the 8th instead of the 5th, because we don't need that vote. We don't need that vote to go there. But yeah, just making sure that every conversation that we have is, you see me coming, we're talking about voting. Let's get the early vote done. Let's do what we have to do. Let's take care of our business so we can make sure that we keep the democracy that we want to have, and help continue to shape and build the democracy that we want for our future children.
As a small business owner, when you think of Vice President Kamala Harris's opportunity agenda, what are some of the things you like about what you're hearing from her as a small business owner?
The opportunities that I like, just having a chance of having a voice and being able to make it and not being overshadowed by the big bank companies, being able to have that footprint and support without having so much jargony language and things being thrown around with possibilities of having to go through so many loopholes. Everything's been more straightforward and more streamlined. So I can really appreciate that.
Excellent. Well, listen, early voting has already started. Have you voted yet? You willing to disclose? Yeah. How long was the line? Did you go with your snacks?
Literally less than a minute, in and out. It literally less than a minute, in and out. Gave them my ID, gave it right back with my voter card, walked on over, did my vote, my 1, 2, 3s, and
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
I felt great. I felt so great. It felt so good to do something, not only speak about doing something, but actually following through yourself. You know, it's one thing to say, oh, go vote, and then not go vote.
Yeah.
But to actually go ahead and do it first.
Yeah.
And say, listen, these lines are super short, less than a minute. You can go on your lunch break. You can go on your way to work or on your way home from work. It might be a little bit more crowded, but hey, what's 15 minutes versus 4 hours, 5 hours standing in line voting?
Yeah, man, I felt extremely empowered after voting by mail here in Florida. I know I can have time to go and help my family and friends. So to the readers out there, what's your parting words, advice to them over the next 16 days? What would you like to say?
What I would like to say, well, what I would leave everybody with is what I said earlier. The government doesn't need permission on how they spend your money if you don't vote. So you might as well use your vote so that you can tell them how to spend your money. And yeah, go vote. That's
excellent. Caribbean. Rita Cunningham coming to us from the Caribbean, the populous Georgia state right now, the home of Usher, the home of the Falcons, and the Caribbean Georgia votes. We want to thank you for joining us here on Rally for Kamala.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. We're going to keep this moving right here on rallyforkamala.com with our very, very special guest. I just want to say thank you to our streaming partners, the Coda Network, the Onion Suite, Trinity Jungle Juice, Jamaicans.com, and of course, you can see us on YouTube at rallyforkamala.com. This is going to be our last call. Maybe we may have one more call, but this is going to be our last call before early voting, which has already started in many, many states. We are now going to bring in a very, very special guest who is leading one of our voter protection effort across the state. He is our 82nd Attorney General from the years of 2009 to 2015. I don't know what he's cooking for dinner, being a son of Barbados, but I want to know what's on his menu for Sunday dinner, because I know he has something special that he cooked for Sunday dinner. No Bajan passes a Sunday without Sunday dinner. Attorney General Holder, thank you for joining us here in Rally for Kamala.
All right. Well, thanks so much for having me. And you know, Sunday dinner, there's a whole variety of things, but one thing that always happens on Sundays is peas and rice. There's no question about that.
Peas and rice, or rice and peas, Attorney General?
Peas and rice and peas. I don't know. Whatever. I know it's good.
Excellent, man. So thank you for joining us here in Rally for Kamala out of your busy, busy schedule. Tell us, what is your emotion today, 16 days out?
Well, let me tell you, I'm a proud Bajan American. You know, the island pearl of the Caribbean. I want to thank you all for having me here today. And here's the deal. I hope you all have a nice glass of Barbados rum nearby so that everybody can really enjoy.
You know, I really love Mount Gay. I don't take my Jamaican card, but Mount Gay is pretty.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I want everybody to understand that your support for this campaign is really essential to our democracy. The fight for democracy is tough, and we have to play the long game, but it's essential. And we're all grateful to have your support in this fight. You know, I think the election that's going to happen next month is going to be a reckoning for this country. I mean, the man at the top of the ticket for the other side is one of the most anti-democracy, divisive politicians I think we've seen run for president in decades, if ever. And he and his very strange running mate are not the only ones we need to pay attention to. Now, as you've heard, I'm the chair of the National Democratic Redistricting Committee, and we're paying close attention to what happens in the states as well as the federal elections. And I hope everybody pays attention to that as well, because, you know, we're seeing that too many Republicans in too many places in this country are willing to do anything. And I mean, really anything to try to win. They've made peace with the notion that they're going to be, in terms of popular support, a minority party that has majority power. They've grown comfortable with everything from gerrymandering to voter suppression to outright intimidation in a really profoundly un-American way. I mean, earlier this summer, Donald Trump asked his MAGA supporters to vote just this time, and then he said, you won't have to do it anymore. Now he sounds, when you hear him now, like the last couple of days, if he has the energy, he sounds like a 1930s dictator. I mean, he went even further. He openly flouts the idea of using the military against American citizens who he's called the enemy from within, simply because people don't agree with him. And let me tell you, they've even put their extreme plans in writing in the form of Project 2025. It's 900 pages, but let me sum it up for you. It's essentially the blueprint for eroding democracy, key protections for the American people, and forcing basically an authoritarian regime onto this country. And the details in that document are alarming for every single American, but most especially us, because we'd be harmed by these plans, which include eliminating federal anti-discrimination protections for housing, employment, education, cutting billions in funding for Medicare and Medicaid and infrastructure, and then gutting the Affordable Care Act. As I said, I'm the head of the NDRC, and we're working to end, gerrymandering and trying to promote, voting rights. And while we're doing, I think, good things, these folks are cheating, and we're doubling down on fairness. And I think, if you look at the work that we've done, you've seen that the New York Times says we have the fairest congressional map that we've had in a generation. So we've done a lot of good stuff, but there's an awful lot of work to do. But the thing is this: if we have this emphasis on free and fair elections, fair maps, equal voting, all of this has one Achilles heel, and it requires all of us to participate, to make our voices heard, and to make sure that all the votes are counted every single November. Dr. King said that the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And I agree with that. But here's the deal. It only bends when all of us, everybody who's on this call, puts our hands on that arc and then pulls it towards justice. And that's what we have to do in this election.
Definitely. I just finished my my pre-orientation for my voter protection shift for early voting here in Florida. I will be one of those attorneys helping to ensure that every person's right have the right to vote. A.G. Holder, I mean, I've heard the former president say that January 6th was a day of love. That really, really struck me as a sad statement. Could you just speak to that as a former attorney general, and for the voters when they start to think of the long list of the reasons why they need to ensure that their family and friends are voting this year? What do you say to that, hearing that statement?
Well, I mean, I think it shows the delusional state that he is in. I think it's a reflection of the loss of some of his cognitive abilities. I mean, anybody, remember January 6th and the videos that we saw from that day, anybody who would characterize that as a day of love when people went into our Capitol, broke windows, hurt law enforcement officers, caused the deaths of law enforcement officers, in the days that followed, how that could be seen as a day of love, as opposed to what it was, which was an insurrection. That's not a person you want back in the Oval Office.
A.G. Holder, when you think about all the misinformation, disinformation about what may be happening with regards to the certification of our elections, as you prepare as an help supporting the campaign, what's your advice to the voters who may be concerned, have some anxiety over what may happen with this election and the certification and some of the things that are swirling in the universe of the social media feeds?
Yeah, I mean, you should understand that there are lawyers. We have armies of lawyers based in Washington, D.C. and around the country to deal with any issues that are going to arise that are legal in nature. But here, we can't lose sight of job one. Job one is to vote and to make sure that everybody we know is voting as well. So everybody's got to make sure that you've got a plan to vote. And when it comes to certification and those other legal issues, I'm not dismissing them, and I'm not saying that they're not important, but we will handle those issues. But we need people to get out there and vote. And if you have any questions about where you can vote or anything like that, go to iwillvote.com and figure out what's best for you. iwillvote.com. And figure out you're going to mail in a ballot, do early voting in person on election day, but make a plan and make sure that you cast a ballot. But we'll handle him if only post-election stuff.
Yeah.
We're ready for him.
We're ready as well. So when the Bayesian Holder family gets together to prepare to vote over peas and rice, how does the Holder family prepare to vote? And what are some of the things on the ballot that are most important to the extended Holder family, personally?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it a lot on the phone. My kids are in different parts of the country, so we use social media, WhatsApp or iMessage, and we talk about the issues that they're facing in the states where they are. And that's a real important thing to focus on, not only, as I said, the presidency, that's an existential election, but there are important issues in Arizona, for instance, with regard to a retention election for judges or justices on the Supreme Court there. There's an important ballot measure to outlaw gerrymandering in Ohio. So we talk about, all of the issues, but we also talk about the debt that we owe to our ancestors who sacrificed, committed themselves, some gave their lives so that we would have the right to vote. And we have to repay that debt by making sure that we all vote.
Well, it was a pleasure to see you in Miami when you helped to come and garner up some resources at the Hampton House. Thank you for coming down. I still believe, AG Holder, that Florida is in play, but maybe it's a lion in the bushes, but we'll see.
No, I think you're right. There are 500,000 Haitians eligible to vote in Florida. If they come out, if the Caribbean community comes out, if African Americans come out, there's a real shot in Florida, both with regard to the presidency and also with regard to Debbie Mucarsel-Powell, who is running for the Senate. So if we participate, if we vote, I think we're going to win.
Excellent. 16 days left. What is your call to action for all those Caribbean Americans that are across the nation and even those who are living, working, studying overseas?
To make sure that you vote, get your friends out to vote, knock on doors, make phone calls, get as many people engaged and excited about this election as we possibly can, because this is as stark a choice in an election, I think, as we've ever had. We've got an unbelievably qualified and young, vibrant Jamaican American woman running for president of the United States against a guy who thinks, as we talked about before, that January 6th was a day of love. I mean, do we want that dude back in the Oval Office? The answer to that question is no. So we have to vote.
Absolutely. AG Holder, thank you for taking time out of your schedules to join us here on Rally for Kamala. We thank you for your leadership as well. Look forward to being a part of your voter protection legal team across the country, protecting the right to vote. Enjoy your peas and rice.
All right. And my Mount Gay.
And you're okay. Thank you, Mount. AG Holder, our 82nd Attorney General, Lauren, come back in here on Rally for Kamala. He is one of our legendary lawyers serving in the first Obama administration, all the way into the second Obama administration as well. What were your takeaways from what he said, Lauren?
It really resonated with me when AG Holder spoke about the fact that we can't go back to where we were before President Biden inherited the administration, and how important it is to call, knock on doors, do whatever we can do to make sure that we are getting out to vote and making sure our voices are heard, and that Vice President Kamala Harris is elected as president of these United States.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're going to take it back to another state right now. I'm going to turn it over to you, Lauren, as we hear from those who are trying to chart a new way forward with Kamala Harris.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Marlon. Now we're going to bring up Rosalind Smith, who has been hard at work mobilizing the Caribbean community in New York. Rosalind, how are you doing?
I am so blessed and grateful to be here, Lauren. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. So you've been coordinating bus trips to canvass for Vice President Harris, and I hear that you're on one right now.
Well, I'm not exactly on one right now, but I could have been, because we have buses leaving from different boroughs throughout New York City on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Saturdays, and various locations where people can leave from. So if you go to newyorkforharris.com, you can see where buses are leaving close to you.
Okay, so that's fabulous. That sounds like a call to action. So you're based in New York, right? So anyone in New York can visit the website?
That's right.
Okay, that's great. And that website one more time?
NewYorkforHarris.com.
All right. Great. And so you're not on a trip right now, but can you tell us a little bit about what you have seen and some of the trips that you've recently been on? What are some of the places you've been to?
Well, I would say that I have seen people in Pennsylvania and even locally here in New York concerned about their livelihood and their quality of life. And I've seen women who, like myself, are concerned about access to not only reproductive care, but care that is respectful and with dignity. So there's just so much happening all at once.
Sure, sure there is. Have you been targeting any of your efforts when you do your trips and focusing on any particular populations in your engagement or any particular issues?
I would say that, I mean, all the issues that have been described before I spoke, I mean, democracy is on the line, right? Freedom of speech is on the line. You know, access to education is on the line. We have a former president saying he's going to destroy or unban the Department of Education. So I would say, you know, there's so many things happening all at once. And in terms of like targeting, we know that anytime you show up to these bus trips, there is a list that you are given, and you're supposed to work through that voter list for that day because there are strategists on the back end that are actually doing the targeting for you.
Okay, okay, great. Well, I mean, it sounds fabulous. I haven't had the opportunity to join a bus trip this cycle, but I have been hard at work writing postcards. I'm curious, have you seen a great turnout for the bus trips?
Definitely. I would say a lot of people are engaged. And what is profound about this election is the level of just diversity, whether it's cultural, whether it's even sometimes philosophical. I mean, we have people who are usually conservative leaning that are supporting Kamala Harris because they agree with her policies and her level of decorum that she would bring to the office.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, we thank you for the work that you're doing. I know you will continue to do that. We have 16 days to go before the election. Is there anything that you'd like to leave for particularly the folks here on this call or folks in your state of New York and how they can continue getting involved in this election?
Yes, I would. I would say I want everyone to use their voice and their vote. And I want to see Kamala win because we need to get beyond just a woman's right to choose. There are other things happening in healthcare with regard to women that needs to be addressed, such as obstetric violence. Right. And so I want people to keep in mind that we need to turn out in numbers and show that we're prioritizing a woman's not just her right to choose, but her right to access healthcare and healthcare that is respectful and with dignity.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely. Well, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
And everyone, if you're in the state of New York, please consider joining one of the many bus trips that are available.
You know, I would love to be on one of those Caribbean bus trips, you know, bus rides with some music and Caribbean music and food. You can definitely make those things fun. You know, you have to make politics fun, you know, Lauren, in order to kind of get through these noisy times. And, you know, so we're going to head back to Georgia right now to connect with one of our hardworking volunteers and voters back in the state of Georgia, the peach state that's going to be turning blue. Yannick, thank you for tuning in with Rally for Kamala. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Thank you, Marlon.
And what county are you coming from in Georgia?
DeKalb County.
The cab.
Yeah, I was actually I didn't realize that Kamala was up the street at Newburgh because I'm in Stonecrest, and she was
Absolutely. She
right
was
right next door.
she was celebrating her birthday there today. So tell us a little bit about what your friends, your neighbors, your circle of persons that you're connecting with regards to this campaign, Yannick. What are you hearing?
Everyone is really excited, as a Black woman, and just being at that level of excellence that Kamala represents. I was able to kind of like see her in person yesterday at the Atlanta rally, and the turnout was like fantastic. Conversations, everyone was just really super excited, super encouraged. And again, because I'm an educator, and just being on the forefront on that, making sure that a Black woman is being heard, being seen, and that education is a top priority.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the things I've heard, Unique, is that the former president wishes to abolish the Department of Education. When you heard that come across your news feed, what did you say to yourself as an educator?
I mean, coming from Trump, it's like it was hard to react. But then you realize that, even with his buffoonery, he has established himself as a very powerful person because he has so many political backers that will basically enforce his radical standing. But it was very disheartening, and again, even with the education system as it is right now, people of color it's always been a struggle. And so to eliminate that aspect will be in a whole host of trouble that we can't even fathom. So for me, I went into my deflect mode. I didn't even consider it, but I knew that there was an urgency for me to tell all of my peers and everyone around me that we need to vote. We need to get this man out. We're in, regardless of in terms of your differences, because people tend to kind of nitpick about like certain policy issues and what have you. And we're like, okay, listen, it's not as a situation where it was Biden versus Trump. We got over that hurdle. But now that we have Kamala, she is definitely the best candidate. And even if you have any kind of issues with her, she is the best alternative, the only alternative, right? So I just make sure that when I'm having conversation with my friends, with my colleagues, that listen, we need to able to do not allow him anywhere near the front door of the White House.
Wow.
He can't be even on the front lawn. He's not allowed in the door because it's crazy. It's crazy, but it's also very scary.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So
when the Norman family or the Cunningham family are, enjoying a nice plate of rice and peas as opposed to peas and rice with AG Holder, how are you guys preparing to vote? Are you voting by mail? You going in person? What is the plan?
In person, definitely in person. Because I mean, it's just there's a whole like tradition of like being in line, you're speaking with the older ladies, that most of like where I normally work, there's a lot of older retirees. So you're speaking with them and they're like that, that smile, that sort of like, yes, like all of that leading up to the booth. Like that is to me is
meaningful.
Like very important, right? Like that personal kind of feel, and then getting your little sticker, and like, hey, like I love all of that, like that entire, like this almost like a ritual, like all of that, it just makes the moment even more palatable.
Absolutely. And then we definitely also want to encourage you to help other family members and friends prepare as well, because many people don't know the full ballot because there are other important races in Congress and local races that are important on the ballot that you also have to prepare for. It takes a little work, doesn't it?
Yes.
It definitely takes a little bit of work. Well, listen, Yannick Norman, Caribbean Votes, we want to thank you for joining us here on Rally for Kamala. We thank you for your passion. We thank you for your leadership as an educator. And we promise you the Department of Education is going to be there so that you can continue to do your great work.
Please. Yes. Thank you.
Unique Norman coming to us from Georgia. She's already getting her family and friends excited about voting for Kamala Harris. Lauren, are you a peas and rice girl or rice and peas, Lauren? You strike me. Which
What
one,
do you think?
Lauren?
What do I strike you as?
You strike me as a rice and peas lady.
I'm a peas and rice lady. I'm just kidding. I'm a rice and peas lady.
I mean, you're from New Orleans. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, you're from Louisiana. You must, be closer to the rice and peas connection.
That's right. That's right. We have rice with everything in Louisiana.
I want to thank our Haitian friends for your stay. Listen, so we're going to go to our next special guest, Lauren. We're going to next that our listeners, if you're just tuning in and joining us here on rallyforkamala.com, we want to thank our streaming partners at The Union Suite, Jamaicans.com, Trini Jungle Juice, Tempo, the Coda Network, and also your favorite device. We want to go to our next special guest now. He is the first Black African-American governor of Jamaican descent. He's a 246-year history in the state of Maryland. We want to say thank you for Governor Westmore for sharing some thoughts here on rallyforkamala.com. Take a listen.
I'm Governor Westmore of Maryland, and I'm excited to be with you all virtually today as we celebrate a powerful moment in our history and a time to celebrate the birthday of an extraordinary leader, our Vice President, Kamala Harris. This is a time for unity, for showing our strength as a community, and for reminding everyone of the immense contributions that you have made to continue to shape our nation's future. From culture and politics to education and entrepreneurship, we've built a legacy that is undeniable. So as we gather, let's honor the historic role of Vice President Harris, and let's also celebrate her leadership, her dedication, and her commitment to justice that inspires us all. On this special day, as families come together for Sunday dinner, let's talk about the future. Let's talk about economic equity, immigration reform, reproductive freedom, affordable health care, and building a country that honors everyone's potential. Our vote is our power, and we are going to build the kind of future that our children deserve. So let's mobilize, energize, and give it our all to make sure we get out on November 5th and make Kamala Harris the next president of the United States.
Thank you so much, Governor Westmore, Lauren. Great to hear from him. He's also very busy on the campaign trail supporting Vice President Kamala Harris. So we want to thank him for taking time out to share some thoughts on video for our national call this evening.
Yeah.
Yes, so we have our next special guest is coming to us from, are we going back to the Peach State?
Yes, we are. We're taking it back to the A.
Taking it back to the A. And we want to bring in our good friend, Mr. Jason Walker, radio personality, and also a disruptor of Caribbean Georgia voters. Jason Walker is going to be joining us here on rallyforkamala.com. Mr. Walker, he's been in the green room. Step up to the stage.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Lauren. Hello, Marlon.
Where's Lauren?
Everybody, Georgia has nothing but vibes, high vibes. Don't care what nobody wants to say. You notice the president spent her birthday where? Georgia. Just want to put that out there.
Why is Georgia so important, Jason? Tell us how you really feel.
Well, first of all, we represent, on the Caribbean side, we represent about 300,000 people. On the political side, we are one of the battle states. And the last time we pulled off the miracle, puts in two, Mr. Ossoff, Mr. Warnock, in the Congress. That's us. Just want to say. Energy.
Absolutely, Jason. Absolutely. So in speaking to some of your friends in Georgia, what are you hearing from them? What is exciting them? What's different in this election cycle compared to the previous?
So I have to be honest, being president of the Caribbean Georgia vote, my focus has been the Caribbean community. So let me say, excite them. We have a Caribbean American running for office. Let's be real. And I'm going to demand, if I get to meet her, oxtail prices must go down. That being said,
oxtail prices
must go down.
That means the butter beans have to go down too.
I have no arguments with that either. But to have somebody, the reason we started Caribbean Georgia Vote 4 years ago was to try and get people into office who understand our situation, our plight, so we have a better voice, and also to get the Caribbean community more involved. Because I have to be honest, little background, like I said, radio personality, DJ. In those circles, people weren't trying to vote. People weren't trying to get involved. And then the young people, they weren't even having a conversation. Got a shout out to Peyton Brown, who is a student from Georgia State University. He voted today. Very proud of him, Jamaican American. But he was saying he's also hearing the conversations, like, why are we voting? Why are we getting involved? And a big part of what we do is to get people involved and understand why they need to get involved, why this helps, why we make sure that we exist. Because in Georgia, we're battling with a lot of things. We're battling with voting rule issues, protecting our rights here in Georgia. We're battling judges here that are putting people in place and saying it's going to be okay to challenge election results. And of course, access to healthcare, access to immigration. You already know we have to be involved because it affects us. And the young Peyton Browns of the world want a better world for them to grow up into. Just saying.
Excellent. So, Lauren, you have any friends in Georgia? Like questions for Jason?
Oh, I have plenty of friends and family in Georgia, and you mentioned your college student that just got out and submitted his vote today. Congratulations to that young man. Do you have any advice to other young people in the state of Georgia, particularly Caribbean Americans? What do they need to do? What are the conversations they need to be having with each other amongst themselves, whether it's, via text messages or it's on TikTok or Instagram? What would you say to them?
So in terms of young people, just broadly in Georgia, look for Caribbean Georgia Vote anywhere on the socials, our website, anywhere, and you can see what we're doing. But what I'm going to say directly, I need you to read up on what this whole political structure, the governmental system, how things work, how it really works. And I want you guys, whether you're students or not, plug in to associations. Like right now, Caribbean Georgia Vote is plugged in with all the Caribbean associations at the different universities. And we're working with Caribbean students at the high schools because we want them to understand. So plug in, learn, understand how it impacts you. Even a simple fact, like a simple fact, when you finish college, under Democratic administrations, more jobs have been brought, millions more jobs have been brought on the scene in the market than when there were Republican administrations. Something as simple as that. Mm-hmm. Or even how it is that you can have choice, that you can decide to do something. You can make a choice, and how families do better, children do better, mothers do better under Democrat. And it's not an opinion on the Democratic administration. There's actually data to back up what I just said. Mm. But you're not going to know this unless you're conversing with people that can give you that information. Right. So plug in. Now, Caribbean Georgia Vote started out with representatives from every Caribbean association that we could reach out to. So I would say both the student organizations and reach out to whether you're Belizean American, whether you're Jamaican American, whether you're Barbadian American, Guyanese American, whatever you go through. And by the way, everybody, it's rice and peas. Just want to make sure you know that. Plug into your association that plugs into Caribbean Georgia Vote so we can make it a collective thing. There are 300,000 voices here. And even if it's just the fact that even if they don't like us, there are a variety of, they've shown us that. I remember when I first came to Georgia, people used to make fun of me and the music I was playing onto my car and my accent. I get it. So even if they don't like us, if we're organized, they'll respect us.
Right.
That changes the conversation completely.
So, Jason, we have final two questions for you. What's your advice for Vice President Harris as to how she's going to reduce the price of oxtail again? No, what's your advice to her?
Please tell the Madam Vice President. Let's just have a Caribbean leader sit down that we can have a conversation with the meat industry and let them understand how there is going to be a groundswell of support when oxtail price goes down. And there is just going to be a resurgence, a powerful resurgence in the economy. held by that area of the
You
meeting.
you may be onto something. So tell us, why is Georgia breaking early voting records? Before you go, what is your sense of that?
So not to disparage anybody, but you know, we have certain elected officials that things say we're born yesterday, because you know, like I said, they're pushing from the last election when Ossoff, Warnock, Biden won Georgia. They started changing the rules to make it easier to challenge election results. They started changing laws to make it harder for people who want to make choices. They even started to make it harder to vote. Here in John, I'm going to repeat again, to make it harder to vote. Literally, going back to Peyton, in 2016, one could walk into the booth with their child. Today, we wanted Peyton to walk in there with his little sister, and they stopped him. And because of the new rules, they want to make sure that there's nobody helping you, there's nobody bringing you water, and then make sure in the areas like the Cab you mentioned earlier, where most Caribbean people are, and Henry County, which are both predominantly Caribbean and Black, them want to cut down on the amount of people, the amount of polling stations, to make the lines longer, and don't want anybody to come bring them water and some rice and peas and oxtail to make sure that they can stand for the full day.
Right.
Them things that we are idiot. So we're vexed, and we want to make things different, and we want to make it happen. Plus, you know, Kamala Harris, who celebrated her birthday where? Georgia. Just want to put that out there.
What more can you say? Jason Walker, president of Caribbean Georgia Votes. Thank you for joining us here on the Rally for Kamala. Look forward to seeing you out in those Oxtail streets. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you.
Lauren, I turn it over to you, Lauren, to introduce our next very special guest right here on rallyforkamala.com.
Thank you, Marlon. All right, now I'm very excited about this next guest. I am bringing up to the stage Dr. Vanita Gupta, who is joining us with women representing various organizations, the Women Executives, Swing Left, Top T SOS, and Impact. Hi, ladies.
Hi, everybody.
So where are y'all calling in from?
So we are coming back from Pennsylvania, going back to DC and Baltimore after a day of action to celebrate Kamala Harris' birthday with action. Do something.
All right. Yes, do something. Thank you all so much for the work that you are doing, that you have done, that you will continue to do. And now, while we're 16 days out from this landmark election on November 5th, today is also Vice President Kamala Harris's 60th birthday. I hear y'all have a surprise for her.
Yes, we do. And then we have to tell you, our amazing volunteers here have been knocking door, but you can see how enthusiastic they are despite being tired. And we see real enthusiasm in Montgomery County, PA, where we were for Kamala Harris. So we're going to sing the song, and we have a special card for her as well. Can we put the card up here? So we have this card for her. Oops. Can you see it? Yes? Okay, now we are going to sing here. Everybody, can we sing? Yeah!
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kamala. Happy birthday to you.
And you see our young volunteers here. They're leaders in making, women leader in making.
Oh, the future leaders of America.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
See that. So fabulous. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you for giving us opportunity to live stream to your call. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Good work, ladies.
Oh, look at it.
We got tons of enthusiasm on the ground. And now I think we're going to
We are going to our
Flipping
next
you,
special
Marlon.
guest. That was great energy, Lauren. Great energy straight from the canvassing. Dr. Vinita Gupta and the rest of the supportive coalition. Kamala Harris is building one of the most diverse multicultural coalitions in political history, which is the reason why she is going to win on November the 5th. We want to thank you for joining us here in Rally for Kamala. To our folks on the Union, Sweet Coda Network, Jamaicans.com, Trini Jungle Juice, on your favorite device, we want to thank you for joining us here in Rally for Kamala, sharing your Sunday dinner with us. And now I'm so excited to be welcoming one of my favorite actresses. I know her from ER. I know her from NCIS. And she's going to settle this battle once and for all, whether it's peas and rice, rice and peas, or I may pick a fight with her and ask curry chicken or chicken curry. So I'm going to welcome CC Pounder to Rally for Kamala.
It's curry chicken. It's peas and rice.
It's curry chicken and peas and rice?
That's right. End of story.
It's not chicken curry?
It's metagy and plantain and fufu. Yes. Done.
Welcome, CC. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really glad to be here because you've chosen such a diverse group of people. You know, even I think somebody like me who is a slow voter have to really mull it over, have to think about this. And I think that's important because I think there's a lot of us like that out there who really want to weigh the pros and cons, as well as sort of get rid of the rhetoric and the orange hair and the big belly and all of the other things that are getting in the way that maybe works for the opponent in terms of getting him rallied up. But still, you want to hear what Madam Vice President has to offer us and wants to say. So that's really important for me.
So when the Pounder family gets together, the extended Guyanese American family, what are some of the issues that are really front and center for you? As you say, you're taking your time over the Sunday dinner discussing these issues. What's on your priority list, Cece?
Well, I'll tell you this. First of all, I have a microcosm of the United States in my little house. There are Jews, there are Muslims, there are Christians, there are blacks and whites, all in the immediate, can touch them, feel them, talk about them family. And everyone has come to the table with different opinions, but it doesn't mean that we walk away with blows. We walk away agreeing to disagree or minds being changed. And so that's kind of why I wanted to visit you today, because in the sense of minds being changed, there are lots of us younger Caribbean Americans that are sitting on the fence deciding, I'm not going to bother to vote. It doesn't really affect me, but it so very much does. And so I kind of wanted to come join you and let you know that it's the first time maybe in your whole lives that it's absolutely essential that you become part of the process and that you are more important than you will ever realize. So that's why I'm here.
So what's your process? Do you download your sample ballot? You do who do you call? How do you do your research? How does CC and the extended potpourri of people prepare to vote in your household?
Well, it's really hard. I think a lot of people grew up in a Democratic family or a Republican family and just checked the list red and checked the list blue. This time I actually called a few people. I didn't understand certain petitions. I didn't understand a couple of things. And it's like, well, what does that mean for us? And, you know, is that benefiting like 2 people or, you know, the 2 million?
Right.
And so I had those calls. But I think it's because I realized that this particular election is the last of its kind. I really believe that.
Tell us why.
I think we will have changed American society in an enormous way, regardless of which candidate is the winner. Regardless, it will change drastically and it will never happen again. And whether it is a dangerous situation or whether it's a situation that says, get yourselves up by your bootstraps. We've all got to pitch in. Sometimes we have to reach over the line and say, you're not in my party, but I need your help. And vice versa. And we're going to have to do negotiations. We're going to have to put out and not just leave it to our one so-called leader, but all the people in the line, your senators, your congressmen, they're all going to have to work.
You stopped me in my tracks with that metaphor that either way is going to be a transformational change of our democracy and our politics in the terms of the decision that we make. When you first learned of the candidacy 400 days ago of Kamala Harris being the nominee for the next president of the United States, what's the first emotion that came to you?
Well, because she was vice president, I thought, well, this is great because she's had 4 years of information. Whether she can act on it or not, she cannot as vice president, but she gets to be in the room. She gets to see what goes on. She gets to see how negotiations are going. She gets to meet an international community. Yeah. She is in the room. And so I felt comfortable with that. I have grown up in many places where females, Black, are not the first-time presidents. So there are Black and brown presidents around the world. And so it was not a shock. What was the shock was how it came, because Joe Biden, President Biden, was so absolutely adamant that no, it's going to be fine. He will do the run. And for him to make that extraordinary leap, to be that brave, to be that kind of a servant of the people, to give himself the backseat and say, you know what? This race belongs to the swift and the strong.
Mm.
Take it over, Madam Vice President. Take it over. And I think that's spectacular.
And for those family members and in your extended family that are maybe on the fence, undecided, maybe frustrated, how are we consoling those or encouraging those voters to be engaged and to exercise their power?
Well, I certainly don't blame them for being frustrated. It's been a very frustrating time. We know that President Obama gave us such hope. It was such a fantastic leap of change of what it was. And he was the first president that made you realize that a lot of people are running this show and he's just sitting at the head of the table. But a lot of people are, there's a lot of pushing and shoving to get what people want to get done for either themselves or their constituents done. So now that we come to Vice President Harris, our next president to be, I think she's gotten information from the other side from Obama. She's seen from the Clintons on down. She knows what is his name is Donald Trump. That's him. She knows what he's been up to. He's been in office prior. And now it's the opportunity for her to, I think, simply because she has got a sort of a multifaceted personal life, that she has a kind of empathy for others, and it's not just
that's a great word.
It's going to be us. It's just going to be them. I think we're in very good shape.
Yeah, it's not about herself. It's about
right.
us.
Yeah, and she really feels to me like a servant of the people. She understands justice. She's grown up in the justice arena, and so and to my knowledge, she has never abused it. And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this next presidency and what us Caribbean Americans can do to not only realize that we are probably a huge part of getting her there, but once she's there, I think that we will not be forgotten.
Absolutely. Madam CCH Pound Account, thank you for joining us here with your Sunday dinner, your curry chicken and your peas and rice. Thank you so much. You settled it.
Did that boy say peas and rice?
You said it.
Peas and rice, right?
You said it.
I know.
Thank you for joining us here on Rally for Kamala. God's blessings to you.
Thank you so much. Take good care.
Thank you so much. CCH Pounder, legendary actress. I don't know if she set up the Sunday dinner descriptions here on Rally for Kamala. That is going to go on the ballot forever. But we certainly want to bring in another very special guest who formerly served as our UN ambassador and also our national security advisor. Part of her family is the rice and peas, and another part of her family is red rice. We want to welcome former UN Ambassador, National Security Advisor, Dr. Susan Rice, for joining us here on Rally for Kamala.
Hey, it's great to be with everybody. Good evening,
Dr.
everybody.
Dr. Rice, looks like you're on the West Coast. Where are you?
I am on the West Coast. I'm in Arizona. I'm in my car because I've been canvassing. I've been out in Arizona for the last 2 weeks, and I'm staying out here through the election. I'm doing rallies and get out the vote and surrogate work and fundraising and everything I possibly can, because it's so important. And these battleground states are really where the rubber hits the road, and they are so tight. Arizona is super tight. And in the past, elections have been won here by statewide elections by 200 votes, by 500 votes. And so every door, every call, every conversation you can have with your family members, your neighbors, it all really matters. And it's not just Arizona, it's all the battlegrounds where the work that we're doing is so important. So I really just want to encourage everybody to get out, volunteer. We badly need volunteers. This election is going to be won or lost on the ground. It is literally a ground battle. It's that close, and we've got to get our people out to vote. Here in Arizona, we got Republicans, we got independents, we've got Democrats. It's an interesting coalition here for Harris, and these are kind of McCain Republicans who feel like the party has left them. But there are a lot of them.
So, Dr.
And
Rice,
so,
you've been on the road. We appreciate you being out there in the Southwest in Arizona. In terms of the call for volunteers, what are you hearing that is the most effective over the next 16 days? Is it knocking on doors? Is it the phone call? Is it the text messages? How would you advise?
The most important thing is the door knocking and the phone calls. It's getting people to the polls, making sure they have a plan, that if it's an early voting state, that they mail their ballot in early or drop it off or get to the polls early. It's really important to bank as much early vote as we can, because that means that in the last week or so, we can focus all of our energy and attention on the low propensity or uncertain voters, and we can be much more strategic and targeted. So it's the get out the vote is what matters now. And you can go to events.democrats.org, and you can find the canvassing and the phone banking in your immediate area. It'll know where you are, and it'll direct you to events based on your zip code.
Right. So,
Dr.
That's
Rice,
what
people need to do.
You've been through several election cycles, both on both sides of the election cycles. And so when you make that phone call, Dr. Rice makes that phone call, or she knocks on that door, what is she saying to that voter as to why this election is so important and why Kamala Harris is the most important choice that voter should make?
Well, this election could not be more important, as we heard Cece say, and the stakes could not be higher, and the contrast could not be greater. Kamala Harris has a vision for where she wants to take the country. She wants a country that's inclusive, where our freedoms are respected and protected, not just our reproductive freedom, but our freedom to love and to marry who we want, to be free from gun violence, to have our votes counted and ensure that we preserve our democracy. Donald Trump has said he wants to terminate the Constitution and bring the military out to go after his political opponents, who, by the way, are all of us. Donald Trump wants to take away citizenship from naturalized Americans. This is not a joke or an exaggeration. In the first Trump administration, they set up a brand new office in the Justice Department for denaturalization, taking citizenship away from people who were not born here but earned it lawfully and legally and are planted here, paying taxes, law-abiding citizens. And what Stephen Miller, Donald Trump's Svengali henchman, has said is that if there's another Trump term, they're going to turbocharge denaturalization, meaning that if you are in this country and you were not born here but you're a citizen, they are going to come after you if they don't like the country you came from, which, by the way, is all of us. So this is deadly serious and scary. So on the one hand, you have Trump, who wants to take us back to a time when women and people of color were not fully vested citizens of this country, didn't have the freedoms and the rights that we've come to enjoy, and whose economic policies would cost the average American family $4,000 more a year, based on these crazy tariffs. And he's somebody who's going to give tax breaks primarily to the richest of the rich and corporations. Whereas Kamala Harris has an approach that will preserve and strengthen Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid as well, that will ensure that tax policy benefits the working and middle class people. She'll give a tax break to 100 million middle class Americans. If you've got a kid, she'll give you an expanded child tax credit. If you're trying to buy a home, $25,000 in down payment assistance and 3 million new affordable homes. She wants to preserve and extend the Affordable Care Act. Trump wants to take that away. So if you had a pre-existing condition, you would not be able to get your coverage guaranteed. And by the way, being a woman was a pre-existing condition before Obamacare. People don't remember that.
That's right.
Simply being a woman, because you might get pregnant or have some other, condition. I mean, he wants to take us back to the dark ages, and she's got thoughtful plans to take us forward.
So Ambassador Rice, before we let you go, what are the Arizona voters saying to you that's inspiring you in these last 16 days?
Well, Arizona is like all these battleground states, very, very sharply divided. But I've been super impressed by the energy on the ground here among Democrats. There's a huge amount of energy, and it's a very diverse coalition. It's women, it's people of color, it's white men, it's white women, it's Native Americans, it's Latinos, it's African Americans. It's literally, everybody. And there are there's a hardcore Trump constituency here, but I really feel the energy, and people understand what the stakes are, right. and they're working hard, and that's what we all need to do across the country. If you don't live in a battleground state, get on a bus, get in your car, and go to one. Get on a plane. I was canvassing today with people from California and Washington State. Who've come into Arizona to be helpful in these final days. And that's what we need from everybody.
So for those 3 million plus Caribbean Americans all across the country, what's your final call to action for them?
Well, this is a historic opportunity. Kamala Harris is, an extraordinary person with whom I've had the privilege of working closely. She's super smart. She's tough. She's empathetic. She's calm. She's rational. She'll be an excellent commander-in-chief, and she will make us enormously proud as a fellow Caribbean American, and the first woman president. And there's just so much about who she is and what she represents. It is exciting, but most importantly, she will be a president who effectively serves all Americans.
Well, we certainly appreciate your leadership over the years as our UN ambassador, national security advisor, and now chief surrogate officer, it appears, in the Southwest Arizona area. We appreciate you, and also your grandparents coming from the Caribbean and roots in South Carolina as well. We just salute you. Your mom's parents are Jamaican, I think. Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely want to salute them as well. But thank you for taking time out of your Arizona schedule, and look forward to seeing you over the next few days as we bring this home for a new way forward.
Thank you for all you're doing, and thanks to everybody. Let's get this done. Take care.
Thank you. Ambassador Susan Rice, or former UN ambassador and national security advisor, Lauren. We're coming in the final stretch of our rally here, Lauren, and our final couple of guests. Thank you for being out on this journey. My rice and peas versus your peas and rice. So who do we have next?
Next up, please help me welcome to the stage, last but certainly not least, Gerline Joseph. She is the founder of the Haitian Bridge Alliance. Hi, Gerline. How are you?
Hello, Lauren. Hello, family. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on my personal capacity. And I want to say rice and beans. I've been hearing rice and peas and rice all this time, but don't forget the rice and beans.
We got rice and beans. We have another option thrown into the mix now. Noted.
Thank you so much. And I also want to highlight, as an independent voter, it is critical that we make sure that we vote for progress, for healthcare, for education, for immigration. You heard from both Cece and Ambassador Rice how important it is, especially for us Caribbean Americans, us Black immigrants. What is at stake? Our very lives are in the balance. I will repeat, our very lives are in the balance. So today I am honored to join you and all of those fantastic people, and really understanding that we must stand for justice. We cannot go back. Whether we are getting in our, Sunday's best for rice and peas or rice and beans, we cannot go back because our lives are in the balance. Our children's lives are in the balance. Women's rights are in the balance. So we are imploring from them, from all sides, but really calling on independent voters to step into the light and move us forward into where we need to be. There is no going back. We cannot go back. So really wanted to look into the narrative that is being used, the false narrative, the misguiding narratives that is being created to divide and conquer. When we hear 45 and his running mate stand in Ohio talk about our collective humanity in such derogative ways. Mm-hmm. He said Haitians, they said Haitian, but they meant all of us. Mm-hmm. So it is critical that we fight against this divide, that we fight against those false narrative, because we understand whether they say Haitian American or the entire Caribbean American or the entire people who are trying to make it today, every day, the next step. Our very lives are in the balance. So I am calling on my fellow independents, and I'm calling on all people on the ground canvassing to make sure you touch on the independents. Let them know what it has at risk, because we are standing here at the cusp of where we are moving forward. And it is up to us to stand up, to move forward and fight so that our next generation cannot be in the same place that we are today. So I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for being activated. Thank you for organizing. Thank you for pushing through. Going back is not an option. We have paid the price. So on behalf of our ancestors, we are saying forward, forward, and we are fighting until the finish line.
Yes, you are absolutely right. What empowering words, Gerline. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective. I know that you're on the ground in Ohio, and we only have a few minutes left here on the call, but can you share any sentiments from the community that you're getting, given these negative, untrue remarks that have been made public across national media? What is the energy and the sentiment that you're getting from the community there in Ohio?
The beautiful thing, Lauren, is that the thing that they created to divide us has brought everyone together. Not just Haitians and Black people in Ohio, but all people in Ohio have been standing against those vile narratives. What they have done is bringing us together to fight against those terror that they are trying to bring. So, on the ground in Springfield, Ohio, to Charleroi, Pennsylvania, to Long Island, New York, to California, to Florida, we are standing against those false narratives, and we are saying we are moving forward. So we want to say thank you again. And I've been saying that, and I'm energized as an independent to say going back is not an option. So in Ohio, in Pennsylvania, in Georgia, in DC, in Maryland, going back is not an option. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Thank you so much, Gerlene, for all of the work that you're doing. Continue to be the voice piece that you are. You know, we need our collective voices raising up so that we all get out the vote, make our voices heard, and make sure that Kamala Harris is elected president of the United States. So thank you for all the work that you're doing. All of the perspective that you've shared with us today. Is there anything, if folks are joining the call from your area, is there a way to connect with your organization and get involved in the things that you're doing?
Yes, please reach out. info at haitianbridge.org. We are under attack, but we are fighting back. We are fighting back for each and every one of you because we are in this together. Info at haitianbridge.com. Forward, never going back. Thank you so much. Merci en pile.
Thank you so much, Gerlene. Well, we have a couple minutes left. Marlon, you want to close us out?
You know, Lauren, you know, if I'm going into a fight, I want Gerlene Joseph on my side.
So do I.
I want her on my side. She is such a force, and really appreciate her leadership, whether it's in Ohio or back in Arizona or Nevada or in California. You know, it's really she is a testament to when we put our voices together around common values to take care of each other as a part of our own humanity. But we definitely want to thank Nancy Boyne for joining us from the state of Florida as the Caribbean Vote Director, Kinnear Joseph from Pennsylvania for tuning in and sharing what the work that he's doing on the ground there, Rita Cunningham and Yannick Norman from Georgia, and Jason bringing the rice and peas oxtail energy. He's going to be the chief oxtail officer, Lauren, trying to get the price of oxtails down. We'll report back that we're not going back to the oxtail prices. AG Eric Holder, we appreciated his thoughts on preserving, saving, fighting for our democracy. So important. And then Lauren, we heard from Rosalind Smith from New York. She is doing what she can for the next 15 days in terms of canvassing and going on these bus canvassing tours from New York to Pennsylvania. We heard briefly from Governor Westmore as well. And Dr. Gupta, you know, we're celebrating the Vice President's birthday as well. CC Pounder joined us with her extended family. And of course, you heard from Ambassador Susan Rice, who is canvassing as a surrogate in Arizona. And then you closed it out with the incomparable Gerlene Joseph with the Haitian Bridge Alliance doing great work. I think, Lauren, we have covered quite a bit, 15 days out. I feel very energized, very excited about the prospects. But the most important thing, though, is that this election is going to require an extra effort every single day. Make another small donation to the campaign. Make another phone call. Do another text message. Send that you know, that friend in your feed, Lauren, that's always complaining. Send them a DM and tell them to call you so you can sort it out.
Yeah.
You know those friends, right?
Yeah.
You know her.
We all have them.
We all have them, right? But we all have the power to do just a little bit more. You have to do something every day because you never know on the margins, the closeness of this elections, 270 to win. And we need to make sure that Vice President Harris has secured all the electoral votes as much as she could to be the next president of the United States. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling very energized. I'm feeling empowered. You know, it truly is a landmark election. I agree with some of the statements made today that this election is going to change our country either for the good or for the worse. And so, you know, it's our time now. We have to step into the light. We need to carry the torch forward. You know, I'm not Caribbean American, but our collective ancestors fought for our right to be heard, and our right to be heard and our voice is in our vote. And so, you know, it's our chance to shape the future, Marlon.
You know, Lauren,
we have to step up.
You may think you're not Caribbean American, but by being a daughter of Louisiana, you are automatically your blood in your veins is with the history of the Caribbean. So we're going to settle that and dust that off right from now. But we want to thank our friends at Union Suite, Coda Network, TriniJungleJuice.com, Jamaicans.com, Tempo Networks, and of course, our vibrant viewers in the chat, talking it out
action. Yeah.
with the passion and the energy. We want to thank you for joining us here with your Sunday dinner, celebrating the 60th birthday of the Vice President of the United States, who's going to be the next president of the United States with her running mate, Tim Walz of Minnesota. We thank you for joining us here on rallyforkamala.com. Please make sure that you go there, make a donation, sign up for a shift, phone banking, knocking on doors, and last but not least, preparing a vote. Plan to go vote early, get it out of the way. Don't wait until the last day, 6:59 and 59 seconds, when you knock on your precinct. Do not wait. Do not be that girl, Lauren.
Nope. Get out there, everybody. We have a job to do. Let's get it done. We're not going back.
All right, my peas and rice girlfriend. Thank you for being with us here on Rally for Kamala. Look forward to seeing you out there.
Yeah, see you out there, Marlon. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Go out there and vote.
Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here, oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here, oh yeah. I miss say money gonna find me, blessings gonna find me, oh yeah. Round and round, these seasons I've been facing, but this year, your blessings I'm embracing. Hey, healing have to come my way, blessings have to come my way. Winning, we winning and we here to stay. Is the blessings me say will find me here? Oh yeah. I miss a favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Tell them the money gonna find me here. Oh yeah. I miss the blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Tell them me claim it. All of my blessings, my name it. With faith me I go own it. Nothing shall get home it. Speak life, it is a new day. All things in my past, yeah. Welcome to the new year. Me step out in faith and no fear. Blessings go find me, yeah. Oh yeah. I miss a favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Money gonna find me here. Oh yeah. I miss the blessings gonna find me. Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here, oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here, oh yeah. I miss say money gonna find me.